Right, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a Lexus IS 250, and it's the SEL model. As you can see here, finished in black. It has a full black leather interior in the vehicle as well. Car's covered just over 50,000 miles and is in absolutely stunning condition. Been fantastically looked after inside and out, and mechanically by its owners. Really is a wonderful vehicle. Come around the offside front bumper corner there, lights, lenses completely intact, there's no marks at all. The bonnet is amazing. You know, if you get a microscope out, I'm sure you'll see a stone chip somewhere, but I can hardly see anything anywhere on that. It's absolutely clean as you like. Front near side bumper corner, lenses are all completely clear and intact. And the panel right down that side, absolutely mirror smooth. It really is. Front wing, very clean. Front near side alloy, it is good. It does have a little bit of paint lift. So this is a critical video, so it's not. I'm not going to pull any punches. Hope you can see just down there between the spokes. Just got a little bit of paint lift there. But again, considering we are looking at a car that's up to 10 years old and they're completely original, they're actually very good. Worth pointing out, the car benefits from a full set of Bridgestone tyres on the car. Very good sign of ownership here. I've not skimped on this vehicle in any way at all. But the panel work is absolutely exquisite. Near side rear alloy, again very good. Tiny little bit of curbing just on the outside edge. Come around the back of the car, all very clean. This is the sort of facelift model. You can tell by the sort of lights on the car with the sort of reversing lights there, different from the earlier models. It is stunning. And then come on the offside, again absolutely like a mirror in the panel work. Certainly one of the best I've ever seen this car. Near side rear alloy, offside rear alloy, sorry. Again, very good. There is again just a little bit of paint lift, just a sign of a tiny bit of pickling there, and just on one of the spokes. But again, certainly you wouldn't want to do anything about them at this stage. They don't get far worse than that before you ever attend to them. But each to their own, I guess. Final alloy, again, very nice. The car externally, you know, you'd have to, apart from sort of tiniest bit of age-related around the alloys, the paintwork is absolutely stunning on the car. Near side rear door card, absolutely unmarked. The interior, as with the exterior, you know, looks almost as new. It's amazing. Full set of original Lexus mats in the car, of course. Full black leatherwork within the vehicle. Is in absolutely beautiful condition. It genuinely looks as though someone hasn't hardly ever sat in the back of this car. This car took around about 5 minutes to clean. That's how clean the car was when it came to us. Amazing. Inside front door panel, again in wonderful condition. Footwell areas clean as a whistle. And another work on the front passenger seat here is absolutely unmarked. It's in wonderful condition again. Sorry, nearly forgot to do the offside rear door card, but as with the others, it looks pretty much as new. Driver's door card, again in very nice condition. Footwell areas all very clean and tidy. And the driver's seat is in, again, absolutely amazing condition. It really is wonderful. So inside the car now, just to pan around the dashboard. Again, as I say in the following road test video, it looks pretty much as new in here. It's in beautiful condition. Later style multimedia pack on the car. So you've got these sort of the new style buttons attached to it. Mark Levinson stereo system, everything's working exactly as it should. You've got heated and cooled seats, has been kept. Round of applause to the previous owners. I mean, it's been just wonderfully maintained, this car. Coming to the dashboard there, hopefully you can see 51,465 miles, and absolutely no warning lights on the dashboard at all, of course. Multifunction steering wheel, looks and feels pretty much as new in hand. It is a wonderful example. This is very hard pressed to find one as nice. Just to quickly show you, also we've got sat nav system, obviously pop the car into reverse, and you get a lovely clear parking camera on the back of the vehicle there. Just to quickly show you, quite often overlooked actually, got the original owner's manual pack here, plus the, very importantly, lock and wheel nut set is here and present with the car. So finally, just to come under the engine bay, and what a beautifully represented engine bay it is. A wonderful Lexus V6 engine. This car has been exclusively maintained by the Lexus dealership, and it is a wonderful example. What will follow this video will be a road test of this very car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus IS 250, and it's the top of the range SEL model. This particular car is registered NH58XYL, and mileage at the start of this road test is 51,458 miles. The reason we do the road test is so customers can actually see the cars that are actually in the advert in operation. That way, if there's any issues relating to the car, then we will feed them back to you, and that's the whole point of doing the video. As I always say, we've been to see cars, specifically ask if there's any issues with it, and as soon as we drove it, we found out straight away, and it's a complete waste of your time, and we're not inclined to do that to any of our customers. If there's any issues, as I said, you will get to know about it. Road test is also done on exactly the same very quiet country roads just outside our premises, so hopefully we're representative of what you'll feel yourself if offered a test drive when you come and see the car. A very brief background to the car, as you'll know from the walk around video and hopefully from the advert, and this has been an extraordinarily well looked after vehicle. Serviced, I think from memory, 9 times by the Lexus dealerships, and as I quite often say in videos, it is absolutely immediately obvious the very second you get in and drive this car. It's, without wishing to be a complete spoiler, it's one of the best cars I think we've ever had in stock. It is incredible condition, but it just drives absolutely beautifully. The engine starts instantaneously, obviously push button start on the IS 250s, settles to very smooth, very even idle, but the engine just pulls absolutely beautifully. So quiet in operation, but any noise it does make is the typical V6 howl. It's a lovely sounding unit, but it's just so docile. It's got loads of power when you want it, but just ambling around now, it is so smooth and serene. It is easily the most refined car in this particular class. There's no two ways about it, not just in terms of noise, but in terms of vibration and harshness and all the other things that people try and measure these days. Looking at the dashboard, absolutely no warning lights on the dashboard relating to the engine or any other part of the vehicle. Temperature gauge running just under half, which is exactly where it should be on a Lexus car of this type. So all in very fine fettle. The engine then feeds through into the Lexus gearbox. Very smooth shifting. If it's not, you walk away from them. But to be honest with you, these are as tough as old boots, these gearboxes. It's a wonderful gearbox. So smooth in its changes. You can hardly feel them, in all honesty. You've obviously got the option as well with the paddles up here and the gear lever down there to switch over to a manual mode. So if I just pull the gear lever to the right, it pre-selects a matching gear, up with the right hand, down with the left hand. Or if you want to use the gear lever, just nudge it forward to go up the gears, or back to come down the gears, and it works brilliantly well. The whole point of it, of course, is some would argue differently, but I think the best place for it is when you're overtaking. Gearboxes don't have eyes, they can't see what's ahead,
And like this way, you can obviously be in complete control of when the car actually changes gear, rather than as can happen, you know, when you're halfway around a car, it suddenly wants to change up, which is the last thing you want it to do. But all working perfectly. You know, it feels absolutely as tight as a drum. You know, I hate cliches, but I'm going to give you 1 minute. It just feels like I'm driving a brand new car in every way. The steering of the car just feels tight and taut on the helm, wonderfully precise, very smooth, slick. Obviously not affected by drive shafts because it's rear wheel drive, so you get a very pure steering on the car. But track's bullet straight, there's no vibrations at all coming through the steering of the car. It's all in fine order. Likewise, the suspension of the vehicle, you know, a real strong point for Lexus cars. Very, very, very smooth indeed, but not at the expense of body control and agility. You know, I'm not going to pretend for a second it's a sports car, because it isn't. You know, it's not as sporty as a 3 Series BMW, as I often say, but it is much sharper in its responses than an A4 or a C-Class of its type or an age. But what it is, it's the best all-rounder in my opinion, because it is completely subjective. I think it's the most comfortable of all of them in the real world. You know, you can go through bends without it flopping around, but you know, on the straight ahead like now, on a broken up road surface, it's very, very, very comfortable. Whilst I'm on that subject, of course, you know, the point of the video is to pick up on any issues, and the reason I got that section of road is just to see if there's any kind of mechanical noises coming from underneath the vehicle, which would suggest a bit of suspension wear. But you know, as with the rest of it, nothing at all. It just feels smooth, supple, and you know, without any obvious wear. Also travelling at the legal limit now, just checking the cruise control. Very, very quiet in here. Obviously that could be ruined very easily if the windscreen seal or door seal was damaged, but there's nothing. It's very, very, very quiet in the car. Just going to give the brakes a bit of a shove in a second when I get to this tight corner, just to check those. They look in fantastic order when we did the PDI, so I'm not expecting anything. And certainly the brake pedal's got a lovely actuation to it, pulling down straight and true. There's no vibrations, there's no pulsing, nothing at all coming from underneath the car. Looking around inside the vehicle, obviously on a 58 plate, this is the later interior. As you'll know from the advert, this car benefits from having the multimedia pack option, so you've got this lovely big clear sat-nav system. You also get the Mark Levinson stereo, which if you love your music, you'll adore this system. It's a brilliant, brilliant sound reproduction. And obviously you get the hands-free telephone comes with it as well, and rear parking camera, so it is quite an option. You can tell it's the latest style because the buttons down here are flat. On the earlier models they kind of just sort of stick out very slightly. All in absolutely pristine condition. It looks like brand new in here. What videos can't get across to you can only trust me to say it, is just the build quality is absolutely astonishing. There's no buzzers, creaks, rattles. It feels rock solid, the car, in terms of how it's built, and made out of absolutely stunning materials. And as I always say, I mean, this is real world build quality. This isn't a road test with a brand new car the manufacturer's just given to a car magazine. This is, you know, nearly 10 years down the line, 50,000 miles on the clock, and it still feels absolutely as new. Obviously we've got heated and cooled seats. I've checked them all anyway, just got to do it again for fun. All working absolutely perfectly. Because it's the SEL, you also get the electric adjustment for the steering column. You get the electric memory seats with 3 memory settings, electric rear shade on the car as well. So it's not just one thing, it's a multitude of things on these SELs. Cooled seats works rather too effectively because it's now chilly on my backside, just with the heater on as well. Sorry, it's a bit dark. It looks like it's going to absolutely hammer down in a second, so the video may go a bit dark for a couple of seconds. But inside the car, as I said, it's a wonderful place to sit and drive a vehicle. They really are I've had a few of these and done loads of miles, and they're very, very comfortable indeed. As I said at the start of the video, the whole point of it is to try and pick up on any issues. Having driven the car before, but also, given the service history of the vehicle, I wasn't expecting anything, and it is nothing. It drives sensationally well. The heated seat's very effective as well, so I'll turn that off now as well. Clearly, as I always say, if I have forgotten something on the video, then please don't hesitate, do give me a call, and I'll happily answer any questions you might have about this car.